I'm going to preview and predict the national championship in Division One FBS football between the 8 seed Ohio State versus the 7 seed Notre Dame. And as of this recording, Ohio State's favored by 8 points. And initially was like 9.5. Granted, it could shrink still. And it's at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN on January 20th. And I'm going to mention that this game will be played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. And I apologize if I'm looking down because I can't memorize all this stuff. What a road for both of these teams to get to the championship, first of all. I mean, everybody thought Notre Dame was left for dead when they lost to Northern Illinois. They won every game since. Now, Ohio State literally came back from an embarrassing loss to Michigan. So, Ohio State's 13-2 on the year. Obviously, in the Big Ten, 7-2. And they're not even the best team in the Big Ten. They're fourth place. Now, Notre Dame, as we all know, they're independent, 14-1 overall. So, and I will put the stats in the description below for both of these teams. And I'm going to make mention that the points per game for Notre Dame, offensively and defensively, they're not listed. So I had to calculate it myself. So, just letting you know. And I apologize if my voice, it sounds a little hoarse. It's from the Baylor women's basketball game against Utah. And Utah was number 23. And y'all know the result. So, okay. Notre Dame offensively averages 37 points per game. While defensively, they allow like 14.2, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7. You get the point about that. How many first downs? 307 first downs for Notre Dame, 250 for the opponent. Rushing yards per game, 210.7 for the offense, 133 on the defense. 194.3 passing yards per game by Notre Dame's offense, 165.3 allowed by the defense. Okay, the time possession is 29 minutes, 59 seconds for the offense, 28 minutes, 38 seconds for the defense. Third down and fourth down conversions, by the way, they don't have percentages for Notre Dame. I'm just going to say this out of this. As in like 71 for 172 on third down offensively, 61 for 205 defensively, 19 for 26 on fourth down offensively, and 15 for 41 defensively allowed. And I'm mentioning those numbers because it does matter, especially in big games. Because what if it's needed for a fourth down stop? What if it's needed for a third and short? And before I go over like the other defensive numbers across the board for both of these teams, special teams wise, you got to be solid. Don't have special teams blunders. Don't miss field goals. Don't miss extra points. Don't allow block kicks to happen. Block like punts. You can't commit special teams penalties like a personal foul, roughing the kicker, running into the kicker. You get the point. You don't allow big returns on kickoffs or punts, especially like a touchdown. Now, obviously, if you have that, that's a big deal. Same thing goes for the block stuff. So, okay. I just want to go over that real fast. So, Notre Dame has 82 tackles for loss, but keep in mind they will be down Riley Mills for this game, of course. And y'all can check out the injury status if you want to. And while Notre Dame's offense has given up like 69 tackles for loss, 38 sacks by the Notre Dame defense, 23 allowed. 19 interceptions by the Notre Dame defense while allowing 8. 61 pass breakups less defended while allowing 31. 46 quarterback hurries by the defense, 21 by the offense. 13 fumble recoveries by the defense while the opposing team has 7 and 6 block kicks from the Notre Dame defense while allowing 4. Now, Ohio State offensively averaged averages 35.8 points per game, while allowing 12.2. So really stout defense in terms of the points per game already. Rushing yards per game, 163.2 by Ohio State offensively. Defensively, they allow 189.9. So something's got to give right there. Passing yards per game, 265.13 by the offense, 161.13 by the defense allowed. Time possession, 30 minutes, 10 seconds, while the opponent 29 minutes, 50 seconds. Third down conversions, 41.38% on 174 attempts by the offense, 34.56% on 217 attempts. Of course, fourth down, 71.43% conversion rate on 28 attempts, 41.38% on by the opposing team on 29 attempts. Now, Ohio State has 106 tackles for loss while allowing 55. So really good number there, especially in that many games. 51 sacks while allowing 14. 10 interceptions by the Ohio State offense, 10 of those by by opposing team, and 10 of those by Ohio State's offense. 62 pass breakups / defended, 36 of those allowed in that particular category. 24 quarterback hurries while allowing 19. 9 fumbles by the Ohio State defense while allowing 4. 2 block kicks this year. I'm going to mention this across the board for both of these teams. Do this for your seniors. And do this for those who are going to enter the NFL draft early. I'm just saying. You want to leave everything out there on the line. You got to limit your penalties in this game. You cannot put yourself behind the chains. And honestly, whatever you did wrong last game, you got to correct in this game. And when you look at both of these teams' games on film, you'll know what it is. And the stats. You know what it is. And obviously, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring it to this game. I'm just saying. You got to win the turnover margin. I really do think that can be a difference. You got to win on the line of scrimmage. You got to. I mean, seriously. And obviously you want to limit the big plays, especially for Notre Dame. And I think Notre Dame could learn from Texas on how to slow down this Ohio State offense. I know Notre Dame may play more man than zone. But maybe they switch it up for this game just to try to trick Will Howard some. Of course, you want to try to create havoc plays on defense while limiting those on offense. I mean, you got to be good in the red zone because sometimes the difference is the points off like in the red zone, like whether you're giving up just 3 points or 7. Or points off turnovers, you got to limit those. And obviously, you want to do as well as possible. You got to be good on third down and fourth down, offensively and defensively in this game. And I don't care about the officiating. Yeah, it may be questionable, but you got to make plays to win the game. That's at the very end of the day. And this is solely for Notre Dame here. Keep this game in the 20s. You can't do shootout with Ohio State, in my opinion. You just can't. Seriously. And if you're Ohio State, you need to limit the run game for Notre Dame. If Notre Dame can't run the ball on you, then it's a long day for Notre Dame, to say the least. I really do think that offensively, that is a problem for Notre Dame to handle in this game. And of course, I know Notre Dame specifically, you can't turn the ball over as much as last game. Seriously. I mean, the only reason why you won that game is because yeah, you were down 10-0, then you made a field goal, and then like you got like two more touchdowns after that, and then Penn State tied the game up, and then took the lead. It's just funny that they get a lot of 10-point inside turnovers, and they only scored three, and yet they won the game. It's just the timing of the turnover, and Notre Dame's defense stood tall after that first turnover. Anyway, they're just allowing 3 points. That's why I said limit the points out turnovers, because that could be the difference from a win and a loss. And you cannot let like halfback screens beat you, Notre Dame. You got, because that's what literally beat Texas. To be honest, they did not execute defensively on that, and they got burned. I mean, in that situation right before halftime. Obviously, you want to get some strict sacks and fumble. I mean, strip sack or like slash force a fumble defensively, and while you want not to have that happen, and same thing goes for picks. Take what the defense gives you. And Ohio State specifically, you got to contain Riley Leonard as a runner. Because if you don't, that could be a problem. I mean, I'm just saying. So, and obviously, you cannot be intimidated by each other. You just can't. All because of the jersey. You can't think that. I mean, and don't let the moment get too big for you. I mean, you got to settle in. You got to not have slow starts. Specifically for Notre Dame, if you're down 14-0, I'm sorry. Or 17-0, I just don't see it happening for you to win the national championship. Now, Ohio State, if you start slow, you could still come back to win, but I don't know. I'm only saying I don't think that's going to happen for Notre Dame. It's just because Ohio State's defense is what it is. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. And literally, you got to have your playmakers step up on the outsides offensively. And your CBs defensively and like needs to step up, especially in passing situations. And as you could tell, Ohio State almost let Texas tie the game late because of a couple of PIs, and then Texas was stupid to do a pitch play. A pitch on the outside. And they lost so many yards. I don't think Notre Dame's going to obviously do that here. Oh, no. And I know both teams are dealing with injuries. It's just the nature of the sport, especially when the season's longer now. And this is why we play the games, folks, because who thought Ohio State was going to be a national championship game after they lost to Michigan? You tell me. Who thought Notre Dame was going to be in a chance to be in a national championship game? I thought there was a chance if they beat Georgia. I mean, as long as they beat Georgia first. I mean, like, honestly, they should beat Indiana at Indiana. I mean, Indiana and South Bend. Obviously. And they beat Georgia in a neutral site. And Georgia was down the starting quarterback. I kind of thought they had a chance with them. Now, Penn State was going to be like one of those low-scoring battles. So, and your offensive line not only needs to step up in the run game, but in the pass game. I mean, pass blocking too. I mean, seriously. And of course, you want to keep cool. Don't have unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Or sideline warning. I mean, or what Georgia did against Notre Dame on the sideline, the official running through a player. You cannot have that happen. Seriously. And don't beat yourself up with the penalties either. I'm talking just specifically to you, Ohio State. You did that to yourself more than Texas beat you. stopping you. If you do that again, you could have a problem in this game. That's why I'm saying you got to correct what you ever did wrong last game. You into this one. So who I'm going with here? I only see like one of three directions for this game. I do not see a blowout for Notre Dame in terms of a win. I just don't. Unless Ohio State lays an absolute egg and Notre Dame steps up big time from last game. So the only way I think Notre Dame's going to win is 7 points or less. And you got to keep this low scoring. If it's in the game in the 30s, I don't like your chances. Ohio State in a close win, kind of like that Texas game, maybe a little bit closer than that. Or a blowout win, as in like 17 points or more, or 16 points or more. That's the only way I see this game going. I'm going to just double check on the injury front a little bit. Here, if I could. And I do we'll see about those injured guys from last game for both of these teams here going to this one. We'll see. Okay, so Nolan Vado from Ohio State is questionable for the game. That's really obviously Bo Collins for Notre Dame with the calf injury at wide receiver, Cooper Flanagan, and I know Riley Leonard did come back in the game with a head injury, so. But you get the whole point. Both these teams having some injuries. So, with all that being said here, I do think Notre Dame puts up a fight, but it's not enough to beat Ohio State. So give me Ohio State to win this game, whether it's a blowout or a closer win, just like that Texas game, or even closer than that. I just see more paths for Ohio State winning than Notre Dame. I just do. And we'll see if Notre Dame proves me wrong. We'll see. Because it seems like they are the team of destiny. And I know the same thing could be kind of said for Ohio State after that Michigan loss, but it's more like Notre Dame. A little bit. And I'm just being real. When I also look at this game, if both these teams play at their best, Ohio State wins. Obviously, if Ohio State plays the same level and Notre Dame raises the level, maybe I think there's a chance that Notre Dame does win. Of course, if these two teams play worse than they did last game, Ohio State should win. Should, but not necessarily the case. And of course, if Notre Dame plays the same level and Ohio State picks it up, yeah. Or Notre Dame doesn't play as good as last game and Ohio State does, Ohio State wins. So, I'm just speaking the truth about this game right here. I just think Ohio State has is going to get enough points scored in this game, and Ohio State's defense is going to slow Notre Dame enough to win. But if Notre Dame does win, I wouldn't be stunned, but I would be more stunned if it was a blowout win for Notre Dame. I just don't see a blowout win personally. I just don't. It's going to be interesting on January 20th when the game's played. So, and I really do think if Notre Dame keeps Ohio State below 30 points, even specifically if they could keep it even under 28 points, I like their chances a lot better. I just see a bounce back game from Jeremiah Smith a little bit, but I don't know how much of a bounce back game. And obviously, both of these teams need to pressure their quarterback in passing situations and try and got to tackle well in this type of game. So I'm going Ohio State here, whether it's a close win or a blowout win. It really doesn't matter. We'll see whether or not they're going to cover the 8-point spread and what the spread's going to really be by the time the game kicks off. Because obviously it could expand more to 10 points for Ohio State, and or it could go down to 4 points, 5 points for Ohio State. And I thought that 9.5 was a little much to begin with, but I totally get it because Ohio State was on a on a heater before that Texas game. I mean, a blowout win against Tennessee and a blowout win against Oregon. That to me speaks more volumes. If Ohio State plays at that level, yeah, they're going to win. I don't care about what Notre Dame does. I think Ohio State wins, and at that point. So give me Ohio State to win. Whether it covered or not, it's up to y'all. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 10 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal. It's 1,000 more, some more money up there. Of course, liking a video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people can watch. And if you're watching, and that's subscribe, hit subscribe buttons for your notification bell as well. And granted, I am a little more worried about Notre Dame's offensive line than Ohio State's. Yeah, I know Ohio State has offensive line issues too. I get it, but Notre Dame last game, they had like two guys hurt. And one of them's like out for the game, supposedly, while the other one's questionable. So, yeah, that's kind of why I'm going to Ohio State too. Because I think their front is going to beat Notre Dame's front at more times than not. We'll see what happens though.